Scheduled council meeting of December 7th to order. Any additions or deletions to the agenda from administration? No?
I'm aware of.
I have one under section 17 of the Freedom of Information and Privacy Act for disclosure would be an unreasonable invasion of a third party's personal privacy. I'd like to put that as 11.1. Motion to accept the amendment to the agenda. Discussion? All in favor? Carried. Motion to accept the agenda as amended.
I'll make that motion.
Councilor Spicer. Discussion? All in favor? Carried. Approval of, so we're now at delegations, Redwater and District Chamber of Commerce. I understand they're electronically connected. Okay. Go ahead, Nicole.
Good evening, Your Worship, member of council and administration. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Nicole Crow, and I am the current Promotions Committee Chair for the Redwater District Chamber of Commerce. Just wanted to come to you and just give you a little bit of an update of our postcard to Christmas. As most of you know, we hold this Shop Local campaign annually. This is our 4th year for doing it. So this year, normally we start on December 1st, but we started a little earlier this year because the 1st was a little further down in the week. And we have just concluded our first week draws tonight, and I'm pleased to announce that $67,800 was kept in our community participating businesses for week number 1. So it's a great head start. We will be doing weekly draws up until December 28th, and then our final draw deadline is December 31st, and then we will be doing our grand prize and runner-up prizes in the early part of January. What I'd like to let everybody know is we received a grant from the federal government through the Alberta Chambers of Commerce, and part of that grant, we received funding that the Chamber can go out and purchase gift cards and gift certificates from the smaller businesses in both Redwater and County of Thornhill, because that's where our membership is. So we are pleased to announce that that allocation is worth $1,325. And so we'll be spending that money in both Redwater and County of Thornhill, and that will help the small businesses out. We always say that our businesses are struggling, and it's not a lie. There are small businesses that are struggling through COVID and are continuing to struggle because of the restrictions of vaccine proof and fire code and all that. So it's very important that everybody does shop local as much as possible to support our businesses, because without that support, we will not have these small businesses. So before we received the grant, we did have donations from businesses for the prizes valued at just under $3,000. So now with the boost of the grant, that has brought our total prize amount, including the grand prize of $500 cash, to just over $4,500 for this Shop Local campaign for the month of December. So we're hoping that people continue to shop local and support our businesses, and because our businesses, they definitely need it, most definitely. And if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them.
Thank you very much, Nicole. Anybody at the table have any questions, or administration? Moving through. You said this was the 3rd or the 4th year you've done this, Nicole?
This is the fourth time we've done it. So it's our 4th annual.
And you'll provide us with some statistics at the end of the program to let us know how much was spent in town and winners and that sort of thing?
Absolutely. We'll be making a post on our Chamber Facebook page on a weekly basis after we do the draws on how much money has been kept in our communities. And we'll be doing our grand prize and runner-up draws live on our Facebook page.
Well, thank you for taking the time to come to council and let us know what the Chamber is doing. It's always important to work with our community groups, no matter whether it's commercial, industrial, or pleasure, recreation. So it's always good to have that support for our residents. And thank you for your presentation.
Thank you very much for allowing us to come forward tonight.
Have a good Christmas.
Same to everyone, same to council.
Great. So now we're moving through to item 5.1, November 16th regular council meeting.
Make the motion that they be adopted as presented.
So a motion on the floor for the November 16th regular council meeting. All in favor? Or, sorry, something to add to? Okay, all in favor? Carried. And we go from there to November 22nd, special council meeting, budget meeting. Councillor Williams.
I'll make the motion to adopt the November 22nd special council meeting as presented.
Discussion? Seeing none? All in favor? Carried. Item 5.2.1, November 23rd, special council meeting.
Make that motion, Your Worship.
Councillor Olson, thank you. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Okay. And then the December 2nd, item 5.3, the special council meeting for the budget. Councillor Melnick?
I'll make a motion, the agenda be adopted as amended.
Sorry, the minutes be
Or the minutes,
adopted
sorry.
and circulated?
Yeah, the minutes, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Different line on our screen here, that's all. All right. Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Okay, and that took us through 3 long nights of discussion on budget and 1 regular council meeting. So now we go to item number 6, business arising out of the minutes and unfinished business. Item 6.1.
Thank you, Your Worship. So I'll just get us started here. We'll do a quick overview, recap of the operating budget with some of the changes that we put into place here, and then we'll get into the RFDs to follow for the budget stuff. So, hopping in. So obviously I don't have nearly the wordsmithing skills that Tim has, so I'll kind of highlight, obviously we want to tie all of our budget and everything to our mission and our values. So obviously our mission is to build a safe, beautiful, and sustainable community, and our values include integrity, responsibility, cooperation, and community. We also put some emphasis this year, more so than normal, to the strategic plan and tying everything to the strategic plan. So You can see towards the end of our presentation, we've highlighted some of the areas where we've targeted initiatives to hit the focus areas of community beautification, community sustainability, connected communities, economic growth, good governance, and service excellence. As always, we have the 2022 budget equation, so you can see our municipal operating and our capital equation. So all the things that we provide, all our operations and services, and the funding sources for those. Same type of thing for the capital equation, the annual projects, etc., all of our asset management and everything, and then the funding sources that we have for those areas in there. So on to the changes. Very small change, of course, with the operating budget revenue. So it's gone down to the operating budget includes $8,491,573. The municipal taxation is $3,183,342. Our capital budget for 2022 is $940,671. So this equates to $138,644, or 4.55% increase over the 2021 budget, as discussed in all the budget meetings we did so far. And then we went on to discuss just a primer into the long-term tax strategy. So again, just a quick overview. The primary budget factors addressed are the inflation, growth, service level changes, and maintenance of infrastructure as the four main areas that we get into, and then the three streams for tax strategy, which includes the operating, which covers the inflation, growth, and service level changes, capital plans, and then reserve replenishment plans. And we will get more into January. We'll probably bring forward a bit better of a document around the long-term tax strategy with some scenarios and things like that, so get everyone more on board and go more in detail. And then, again, another overview of all the end service outcomes, things that we provide to the residents, protection, quality of life, transparency, positive growth, fostering sustainability, planning for the future, just some of the many. And then some adjustments. Oh, did you click off the screen, Miranda? Oh, never mind, it's working. So again, another comparative. So the change actually amounted to a 0.1 10-cent change, I think, per month. So we kept it rounded to $7 per month. So we had no major changes in there. And into the utility rates and franchise fee information. So, as discussed, we included a water variable and gas variable rate increase of 5 cents to $1.45 per cubic meter and $2.15 per gigajoule. The annual average home will see an increase due to this of approximately $2 per month, $23.81 I believe a year it was. We also were able to see some savings in the residential refuse and recycle pickups. So we're actually seeing a $5.30 decrease in that one there. So that's bringing down our monthly averages. It also is including a organics pickup over the winter months. So once per month we'll get an organics pickup. And the franchise fee is an increase from 5 to 8% starting in April of 2022. So this generates an extra $54,000 of revenue for the town and has an average residential impact increase of $2.31 per month. And we've got a little table there to show the difference in the garbage rates. And then into the highlights. So just a quick overview. The budget was developed with the context of respect for residential and business taxpayers and their financial challenges, consideration of municipal environmental factors, council's vision, immediate service improvements, long-term service improvements, long-term tax strategy, and asset management. And to wrap it up, we've got some of the projects and initiatives that we've gone into for our focus areas for our strategic plan. So I won't go through all these, but they're in there with information there. So if you want to have a read through, I can click through a slide or two here. I believe we only did a couple of them. So just a couple of highlights for the projects. Let me know when you guys want me to move ahead a slide there. Anybody have any questions or anything for the recap presentation?
Not seeing anything at the table.
Great.
We had some pretty good discussions during our budget process. And just wanted to again pass on our thanks for the commitment to the strategic plan in your budgeting process. It was at UMA, I think, 3 different sessions that I went to. Each one of them correlated to the strategic plan, and each one of them asked the question, what is your mission statement? And so it's good to see that at the provincial level, but when you come back to the local level, it's even better to realize that connection. So thank you for that. All right. So I guess we're moving into 7.1, the RFD for utility rates, fees, and billings bylaw.
Awesome. So I'll continue on for this one. So just some quick highlights. In 2021, we negotiated a new contract for garbage recycle. We're able to achieve a cost savings, decreasing the monthly cost for residents while actually increasing the service. So win-win situation for everyone in this case. As a result, we're able to provide organics pickup once per month over the winter months, and it results in a reduction of $5.30 per month, or $63.60 per year for garbage and recycling services. Again, this only affects residential customers because we don't provide commercial pickup services. Based on our utility rate analysis, we also recommended a minimal increase to the water and gas variable rates of 5 cents per gigajoule and cubic meter respectively. This ensures future sustainability of the utility services while minimizing the impact to ratepayers. And again, the forecasted monthly increase for the average residents was $23.81, or $2 per month if we round it. Fee changes would be effective January 1st, 2022, as noted in the bylaw. So discussion, the new rate structure proposed ensures future stability and sustainability for the town while increasing service levels and providing service excellence. These recommendations were discussed at length during the budget meetings. Strategic alignment, we've highlighted that it meets our community sustainability, good governance, and service excellence focus areas. And the cost and source of funding are all included within the budget.
For that, Councillor Olson.
Sorry, you want to say something, Tim? I'd like to make a motion that the bylaw 901 being a bylaw for the purpose of establishing utility rates, fees, and billings for the town of Redwater, and repeal bylaw 894 be given first reading.
Thank you for that. Discussion at the table?
Like you said, Your Worship, we really can't say anything. We discussed all this over the 3 meetings we had with regards to the budget, so.
I just again think it's great that we can get this increased service and get a reduced rate. Like you said, it's a win-win for everybody there. In the future, I'd like to maybe see if we can look at something if commercial rates and something to do for the commercial residents too, businesses. So.
No other comments? I'll call a question. All in favor? Carried. Right. Oh, Councillor Spicer.
I'll move that bylaw 901 be given second reading.
All in favor? Carried. Councillor Williams.
Council unanimously agreed to give bylaw 901 third and final reading.
All in favor? Carried unanimously. Go ahead.
I move that bylaw 901 be given third and final reading.
Any further discussion? All been said. Call the question, all in favor? It's carried. And then we'll go to item 8.1, Redwater Library Board grant.
Right, me and Ryan are doing a bit of a tag team. I've given him all the hard ones. So within the operating budget, there is an allowance for a grant to the library. 71,525 is in there for 2022. This is actually a 4% increase over what the library was provided from the town from last year. The library board did come to council as a delegation and asked for 3%, but we'd already provided for 4% in the budget because that is in line with inflation, so it is more than they asked for. So I'm sure they'll be very happy, and it's very happy to be able to provide that for them for the great service that they do provide. Their budget is attached in here as well as a 3-year comparison just to show how much the town does contribute towards the library. Yeah, so this is here for council's consideration is what is included in the budget.
Go ahead, Councillor Williams.
I move that the town of Redwater provide the Redwater Library Board with an annual grant of $21,525.
Any discussion?
I think this is good that we give them the 4%. They've been very good when things hit tough. They came down with a balanced budget. They've been fighting hard. They've been on the front lines. A lot of people don't recognize what they do for our community and the people that are struggling, offering them computer services and a whole bunch of other things. And I think this is something very good that we're doing to give them a little extra because they have been conservative about their budgets and they've been very good about them. So I think this is great.
I'll just let council know that I did have a discussion with a couple of the area mayors last week, and during that discussion I indicated to them that I was concerned with the level of donations to the libraries at the provincial and the county level, and it was a good conversation with the other mayors. And it's something that I think is on several radars coming up for the following years. So that's something to look forward to, hopefully, for the libraries especially. I think they've been fairly stagnant from outside support. Anything else? Seeing none, call a question. All in favor? Carried. 8.2, Redwater Museum grant.
So again, within the budget, there's an allowance for $13,862 for 2022. The breakdown's in there. The town covers per the agreement with the museum using the space in our complex here. The utilities, the building and liability insurance, some building maintenance, which includes in 2022 having the ducts cleaned in this complex, as well as a $2,000 grant to support their tourism in the summer, because that's where the tourism booth started, and they do hire summer students that they get federal grants for as well there. Again, there's a 3-year comparison just to show how much the town does support the museum as well. So this is what is included in the budget for your consideration.
Go ahead.
I'd like to move that the town of Redwater provide the Redwater and District Museum with a grant of $13,862 for.
Any discussion? I would just urge anybody who has not gone there to stop in and see it. It's really amazing what the volunteers have done there, and I think that's an important consideration too. The grant is going to a group of volunteers, which is really nice. Anything else? Not seeing anything? I'll call a question. All in favor? Carried. And we're looking at item 8.3, the electrical franchise fee.
So every year, council just considers whether to increase or not the franchise fee. It's been in place since January 1st, 2020 at 5%. The cap that it can go up to is 20%. As we discussed in the budget presentations, There's a proposal to increase this from 5 to 8%. This is an opportunity, again, to diversify town revenue streams. Municipalities do face the fact that some places like hospitals and schools don't pay taxes, but they pay utilities. So this makes it a little bit more equitable for them to be contributing more towards the town as well. There's some comparisons in there of our neighbours as well. As this is coming a little bit later, it would go into effect, like Ryan said, at April 1st. So it utilizes a long-term strategy of gradually increasing it over a number of years if council considers that going forward. It hasn't been increased for a couple of years since it was put in place. This is in the budget right now. Currently, it is used to offset provincial policing costs that were downloaded on us, as we know, from the province, as well as offsetting some of the Pembina Place borrowing fees. Again, these allocations are reviewed annually with council if they wish to change what they are used for. So that's what they've been used for and is what they are allocated to you within this budget. So if this is approved, we just have to advertise it for 2 consecutive weeks in the paper and send all the information to Fortis for it to be put in place. The sources of funding, so it would, right now we generate just over $100,000 in revenue. With the increase 8%, it would generate around 174, but as it's starting on April 1st, it would just generate an extra 54 on top of the 100. The total increase isn't 594. I just took because there is a chart in there.
I saw that.
Yeah, Ryan caught me out on that, so thank you, Ryan. So it is the yellow part, which is the franchise fee. Of course, we don't control what Fortis does with their gigajoule rates or kilowatt weights because this isn't gas, because this is power. So the Fortis part Fortis franchise fee part will only be $231 impact on an average residential home. So it's here for council's approval, if you so wish.
And
I move that council approve an electrical franchise fee of 8% with Fortis.
discussion? All in favor? Carried. So now we're moving on to item 8.4.
Alrighty. So, obviously did the highlights for the vast majority of it with our recap presentation there, but 2022 operating budget and 3-year financial plan have been presented in accordance with the MGA and the town's development policy. The focus was to target the goals set out in the strategic plan and ensure priority focus areas were in the forefront of every decision made. We faced many challenges, but we were also provided with a lot of opportunities, which council has reviewed with administration and included in the decision-making process. Our 2022 budget includes an operating budget, as I said before, of $8,491,573, which includes municipal taxation of $3,183,342, which is an increase of $138,644 or 4.55%. For the average residential home, as I mentioned, it results in approximately $7 increase per month. So in accordance with Section 242, we have to operate an operating budget. We have to adopt an operating budget for the calendar year. Influences and challenges at a high level for this year included COVID-19, continuing on with that, inflation and the expected hyperinflation over the next year or two here. Ongoing and new initiatives for in-house development and economic development and maintaining the service levels of those services that we provide. Employee retention and service excellence as well. Section 283.1 of the MGA also states that we must prepare a written plan in anticipation of financial operations over a period of the 3 financial years. So the intent is to develop a plan and not a multi-year budget. Inflation, growth, and service charges are obviously the main focus areas that we forecast in this plan. The primary benefit of it is to identify future financial challenges and opportunities, allowing administration and council together to plan and develop a roadmap for the future. So our 2022 operating budget and 3-year financial plan were presented at length during our budget meetings, and discussion has been incorporated into our budget and our 3-year plan. Council is not required to adopt the 3-year financial plan by resolution, but it has been presented to council in accordance with the MGA. In the proposed operating budget, the municipal-only taxation revenue has increased by 4.55% over the 2021 budget.
Okay. Go ahead, Councillor Olson.
Your worship, move that the 2022 operating budget be approved as presented with a total revenue of $8,491,573. Total expenses are the same as above, including operating transfers to reserves of $294,250. Municipal taxation of $3,183,000 to $342. And amortization expenses of $1,161,045.
Discussion. No? I just wanted to make one comment with respect to this, and when we're looking at a 4.55% increase, and we're only talking $138,000 or $139,000. I've been reading different municipalities' informations, and you see some of them are coming up with a 1.5 or 1.7% tax rate, and they're talking about $1.5 or $2 million in extra revenue. It's incredible how that imbalance occurs, and it was important to understand when we did the budget how much we're being affected by the provincial download for policing and the reduction in grants, which is also included in this same mix. So I think we've done well as the council. So, anything else? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? That's carried. So I guess we are now at 8.5.
We are, all right. So continuing on, the fully funded capital budget for 2022 is attached. If you want to have a look at it, the total is $940,671. The total, it's all funded through grants, reserves, operating reserve, or an operating transfer to capital amount that we've introduced this year, and developer securities. So the 5-year funded capital plan and 10-year capital plan were presented in the special council meetings in accordance with the MGA. The 10-year plans reviewed and amended annually by administration for presentation to council, considering council priorities, aging infrastructure, and funding available. These plans are not adopted by resolution, but must be annually reviewed and updated. Key strategy in the town strategic plan is to ensure infrastructure, services, and programs meet our community's needs. And the strategy addresses assessments for town infrastructure and incorporates the results into long-term planning. The purpose of the 5-year plan itself is to show potential funding availability and identify funding strategies for the future projects and identifying our capital gap. In accordance with Section 245 of the MGA, the Council must adopt a capital budget for the calendar year. Some specific highlights in there is in the indoor arena, we've got the indoor field house, providing the hub for recreation in the summertime. There's opportunities for summer use of the arena, which includes activities such as pickleball, basketball, floor hockey. We've also got some improved infrastructure maintenance in there to highlight as well, so continuing to invest in our future by improving on our infrastructure maintenance. For 2022 specifically, this includes such items as gas line replacements, sewer liners. Now, one of the new and exciting things for 2022 is upgrading our tractor and snowblower unit for snow clearing, which will estimated by our infrastructure manager to reduce the time it takes to clear snow down from 6 days to 4 days. So hopefully that pans out as planned. Obviously, no cost or source of funding other than what's been presented in the funding sources.
Move that the capital budget for 2022, total of $940,671 be accepted and be funded as presented.
Discussion? Do we think we'll get the tractor and the blower?
Then snow will be gone.
When the snow is gone.
No, Your Worship, we already touch base with the suppliers, and they say it depend how, when we quickly put together the RFQ process and get all the official quotations, review the quotations, and then put the order. And it's again depend on the supplier, so how quick. We try our quick so that we have within our season, starting in the new year. Yeah.
Right. And I think one of the things that's important to point out as well in this whole section is that municipalities can't run multi-year deficits. We're not allowed under the MGA to run more expenses than revenue, so it's very difficult on your side of the fence to make sure it works out, so thank you for that as well. Any other comments? Seeing none, I'll call a question. All in favor? Carried. And should take us to about 8.6, I believe.
I'm very pleased and excited to present this one. Put a lot of work into this, and so we did do a RFP for garbage as the current GFL contract expires at the end of this year. The town did receive 2 submissions, so these were reviewed. We did discuss these at length in the budget meeting, so it is a fabulous opportunity for our residents to receive an extended service while making a saving on their monthly utility account. So it's very exciting. So proposing monthly organic pickup through the winter months on the first Friday of every month. And even with this increase in service, they'll see the reduction, as well as there is some reserve money coming out from this. So it's a win-win all around for everybody. So yeah, so we've managed to do all that with this, and it's proposed to go into an initial 3-year contract with GFL. And within that contract, there is a 3% inflationary each year on the rates. So nothing really significant to look for the next 3 years. And there's an option to review in the contract for a further 2-year term based on what's in that current contract. So that's for your approval.
Go ahead, Councillor Crosby.
I move that the town enter into an initial 3-year contract with GFL Environmental Inc. starting January 1st, 2022, with the option to renew for a further term of a maximum of 2 years.
Any discussion? Go ahead, Councillor Olson.
Just for some clarification, so the first Monday or the first Friday in January is going to start, or February?
Yes. January.
Okay.
So this contract will start from January 1st.
Yeah,
So
so
where the first Friday falls. So yeah, we can, as soon as I get this signed contract back to them, we can start pushing that information out to the public so that they're aware of it. And also, as well as, I've got a great brochure from Roseridge that we can send around on Facebook and on our website, so people are aware of what they can use our organic bin for, because it is more than leaves and grass clippings, just to get that education piece out there, so we can start pushing that out as soon as we get the contract signed.
Amen.
Go ahead, Councillor Melnick.
I'd just like to say I think it's great for the town of Redwater. Everybody's going to appreciate it. And thank Diane for all the hard work she put into it and getting us the best rate. Thank you.
You're welcome. It's very exciting.
I think Councillor Spicer said it earlier, win-win is not something we always see, but this one is, so thank you. Anything further from council? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. All right, so now we're down to 8.7, Municipal Planning Commission. Mr. Duhamel.
Trying to find the report. Sorry, good morning. There we go. There we go.
Municipal Planning Commission.
Wacky races.
Mr. Mayor, I'm pleased to, we have a municipal planning commission as required by our bylaw. and we have to establish people for that commission. The two members that are currently on the commission have informed us that they want to step down. Christy Golden and Dan Shresnak, hopefully I said that right, have indicated they want to step down as part of the MPC. We have received one letter of interest in relationship to being on the commission, and that is from an individual named Allegra Tingley, and she would like to be appointed for 1 year on the commission, so we can, again, do what we need to do in relationship to the commission's duties.
Thank you. Go ahead.
I'll make that
Councillor Cox.
motion. Move that Allegra Tingley be appointed for the 1-year term as member at large representative to the
Any discussion? Another one of the volunteers and community-minded people that we rely on to make our community great. So I'll call the question. All in favor? Carried. Moving into item number 9, which is reports. Start off with Councillor Olson.
Worship. Where are we here? Well, since our last regular meeting on the 16th, the AUMA convention, 3 days in the city, it was great to see our counterparts from other municipalities outside the region that we haven't been able to see face to face or even, on Zoom for quite a while. And it was very nice. It was well planned, I thought. They had a great reveal of their new Alberta municipalities branding, which everything. So the sessions were fairly good. It was different, because of the fact that we were there, and I mean, each session was packed. It was like walking into a sauna. And I mean, if it wasn't so cold, you could have showed up in shorts and t-shirt and it would have been more comfortable in there, but. So, the one that really came to mind was the green, what was the title of it? I can't remember. Energy.
Energy.
Yeah, waste energy, but there's a group in southern Alberta putting together a waste to energy project, and it's basically southern Alberta that they're gathering all the stuff. They've been doing this for 10 years, so it's, I wouldn't say it's really coming to fruition right yet, but it's pretty well there. I'll say sort of the analogy of the equipment's on the ground for groundbreaking, but it's, permit hasn't been issued type thing. But it was quite interesting to see how long it's taken them to get this all together. Of course, we had all our special budget meetings, and that over the Water Commission on the 29th. Our rates were staying the same. Our chair from Councillor Bill Tonnett from Tanita from Strathcona County is chair again. Jib Zabatoya is our vice chair. Fed Gas, I listened in on the second day of their, what they called their informational AGM. Because it really wasn't an AGM per se. Gas rates were, well, not the gas rates, sorry, the riser rates were staying the same for another year. It really was the ATCO Blue Energy, or no, sorry. The ATCO made a presentation, and it was with regards to the 20% induction of hydrogen into the natural gas lines that they're doing in Fort Saskatchewan. They're doing a project in Fort Saskatchewan. They're going to be, by the end of next year, they should have about 2,000 residents running at 20% natural, or 20% hydrogen within their natural gas. They're going to be putting in a small hydrogen plant on the to do it, because there's nothing really, they don't have a plant there. So, but they don't expect to do this full blowout until 2030. So, and well, right now it really doesn't affect us because we get our natural gas from Trans-Canada Pipeline. So, but it's just gonna be on the ACO pipelines that they're looking at doing it. Surprisingly, it's everybody, with hydrogen being such highly combustible, your heat rate, your BTUs will go down. So, but it's supposed to be cheaper and a little cleaner. And it's all about the CO2 footprint, right? So, Edmonton Salutes meeting on the 3rd, I attended. Things are going good. We got a brand new committee. Bill Hodgins was re-elected as chair, and Bill was the sergeant of arms for the Alberta legislator for 30 some odd years. And Rosa is the executive director for the Military Families Resource Center in Edmonton. She's our vice chair. And this year the bylaws were changed that now communities like ourselves and Bonaccord and or Gibbons and Legal, we are voting members now, whereas before we were just, I guess, advisors, I think is what our titles were. And now we're voting members on the board. That was it. And then this afternoon we went over our procedural bylaws and our code of conduct and that, and we left Miranda a little bit of work. She should have it done by Tuesday, but just saying. And that's everything for my report, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Olson. Councillor Consley, anything to add to yours?
No, not much further to add. I just wanted to say that to be able to physically attend actual convention in person versus doing conventions on Zoom was a real welcoming pleasure to be around people this year. Some of these sessions I did attend at that were basically, as I am a new counselor, it was sharpening the tools to be a successful one, and some top tips of working with the wonderful people that do all this hard work. I also attended a Indigenous cultural training session as well, which was a very informative session, very moving session. It's been great so far. The 3 budget sessions were a learning curve, lots of reading, lots of learning. Once again, thank everybody that's put all their hard sweat, work, and tears into that budget. And the session we had again today, of course, was highlighted from one of the sessions I attended at AUMA, and that was to revisit and review the code of conducts and our procedural bylaws that this amazing team has to work with. And I also attended the Remembrance Day ceremony on the 11th of November, Your Worship.
Thank you very much, Councillor Cosby. Councillor Spicer.
Since our last council meeting, I did also attend the Alberta municipalities, and that was my first time there, and I really enjoyed that. Went to the Blue Energy one, and I talked to Noaz a little bit about that, and that's the future, and Rob talked about that with the Gas Commission too, where they're going with it, and it's something to be looking into the future for us. We also went to that waste energy, and to piggyback on what Rob had said about that is that there's some very promising work there, and you see it around the world, and it's good to see that at least our neighbors have gotten some groundwork done, and maybe we can piggyback a little bit on the backs of them, because 10, 12 years and they're still fighting to get it done. We also attended the special council, the budget meetings on the 22nd, 23rd, and I did attend the Indigenous Cultural Awareness in Bruderheim on the 23rd, and it was interesting to learn from that is some of the very things that they're fighting for is things that we take for granted. And that was interesting. It did open my eyes to a couple things. November 25th, I had Homeland Housing. And, during a snowstorm, I made it to Morinville. It was a fun trip. 27th, I had the Northern Lights Library Board meeting, and it was virtual. Did get elected to the executive committee and 2 other committees on there that don't meet too often, but the executive committee is going to take up a bit of time. December 2nd was also a budget meeting, and then also attended today the procedural bylaw and code of conduct, and then tonight's council meeting. Thank you.
Councillor Olson?
I forgot to mention, and nobody else has mentioned, Friday and Saturday, with the Festival of Trees,
Yes.
Kris Kringle, whatever, it just came to me, it was like, you stood outside for 4 hours, and we never seen our community services manager. I just mentioned that on my report, your worship, and I thought it was a great time, and it looked like people were having fun, so.
I think so. Councillor Melnick?
Yes. I attended the AUMA on 17th to the 19th of November. It's my first time ever attending. It's good to be in person, see a bunch of people. It's been a while to get together. I attended their Don't Waste Your Energy and New Development in Hydrogen and Impacts to Municipalities. It was very interesting, the hydrogen. They said it's has the potential to be the next oil sands, so that's to be interesting to see. And they say, and he said also that Japan-based Itachi unveiled a development that could see companies build $1.3 billion in facilities in Alberta, so that's interesting to know too. That'd be awesome if they did. And I had November 24th at a community service meeting. It was good. They said Tim Hortons sponsored the Timbits and the hot chocolate for that. And they had free skating and that Friday from 5:30 to 8:30. So, and it was a good turnout while we were there. It was a lot of people when we were giving out the bags, and quite a few skating and out through the buildings and lineups for Santa. So that was awesome. And November 24th, I also did the CRASC meeting. We did elections that day. They said they currently have 31 municipalities involved, and they said Wobbleman dissolved and joined Parkland County, so they lost one. And I also did special council meetings, the budget review, and I did the procedures and code of conduct today and this afternoon, and procedures, bylaw, and code of conduct, and attended the Kris Kringle, obviously. Yeah. So that's it.
Councillor Williams?
Council meeting November 16th, AUMA, in Alberta municipalities on the 17th, 18th, and 19th. I attended the workshop, council role in economic development, but unfortunately we had a lot of glitches, so we missed a whole lot of good information. But that has been sent to us, so I haven't really looked at a whole lot of it yet. I also attended the Aboriginal Relations one, and it was quite interesting because people seem to think just because you don't have an Aboriginal community surrounding you does not mean that we cannot have that relationship. It doesn't matter if they're 100 kilometers away, if they're 5 kilometers away, or whatever. We need to start making that step forward. Because they have just been pushed off to the side, and they're a good economic resource for us, and we could form some very valuable partnerships with them as well. I attended all the budget meetings, the Indigenous cultural awareness on November 23rd, community services meetings, today's code of conduct and procedural bylaws, and Kris Kringle as well, which you guys did amazing job for the amount of time that you had to put this together. You guys had not even a month to throw this together, and it was amazing. There was great positive comments within the community. Everybody was so happy, and the Christmas spirit was there. We had a lot of fun, even though we were stuck in the corner. Nobody cared about us.
See?
We had fun.
I was out there.
So kudos to you guys for that, because that was a
Yeah,
great
kudos to
job.
Jen and Lisa, they did a great job.
Definitely a great job. And that's it.
Thank you. My report is pretty much as presented, just a couple of big highlights in my opinion. The Alberta Municipalities Convention, you mentioned the packed house and number of people. There was 1,100 delegates from across Alberta municipalities at the convention. And the number of people that just wanted to say hi, where are you from, what are some of your challenges, this is what we're doing. That sort of conversation in the hallways was unbelievable. The hospitality suites at night were crammed with the same type of questions and people and information, and it was really, really good. The other one that I was really enthralled with was I went to a presentation on cybersecurity, and it was really, really interesting. The presenter was really good, and when he talked about it, he presented it exactly like you would expect a technical presentation, except he brought it all the way down to my level, which was about 10 stories less than what it could have been. And he talked about how you approach cybersecurity exactly like you would a fire drill. You exercise your programs, you have your people involved. Oh my gosh, something's happened to my computer, there's a crash. Can you actually back up from backup? Can you do the things that you need to do to make your cyber world secure? And it was really interesting to see that connection between something I understood, fire drills and emergency response type things, and the cyber world, which in his lingo went hand in hand. So that was a really great presentation at the convention. And then I touched base with just about everybody else's attendance that's been mentioned, including Chris Kringle over the weekend, and the Festival of Trees on the Saturday, and kudos. Nothing more to say than that. It was really a great weekend for the community, so thank you to everybody. And that's pretty much everything I've got to say. Oh, Councillor Williams, you said you wanted to accept the reports as presented?
I most certainly will.
Just checking.
Worship,
Yes?
we're not gonna add
Reports.
the rest of the reports, managers' reports.
They're not under 9.1.
Still under 9.
I was called, okay, we can do them all together, it doesn't matter. Okay, 9.2 CAO.
I'm going to defer my report till next week.
Thank you, that's perfect. 9.3 Community Services.
Your Worship, members of council, as it's a 2-month report, I won't read through it. I'm sure you all did. So any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
Questions through to Community Services?
Just too many acronyms. Sorry, Your Worship. You're reading it there, and you're like, holy jumping.
No, good report. That's been great. You're busy there. That's nice to see. Parking lot has vehicles in it. I noticed when I was there for the Festival of Trees, actually Chris Kringle in the afternoon, Friday afternoon, there was several people walking, and I know you've revamped the walking route within the facility. Are you seeing some use of that?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually currently have 15 people that have taken out walking pass. So it's a few comments I've heard from people. They're happy it's been expanded, and a couple of gentlemen have mentioned that there's more people walking than he's seen prior. So we're very happy with it. People seem happy with it. So yeah, absolutely.
Super. Corporate services.
My report says there's just a couple of things I want to mention, because it is the first meeting in December where our mileage and subsistence policies say that we review the current mileage rate and make sure it's still in accordance with the Alberta government, and it is. So that's in the end of my report there. We just review that in June and December. And I just wanted to thank the team here and council for making the budget, and Tim. Great experience. It was a lot of work, and great job to Ryan for all the work he put into it as well. But yeah, so I just wanted to thank everyone for the input on the budget. And that's it, Your Worship.
Thank you. 9.3.1, the October financials.
Unless you have any questions, they're there for review.
Anyone have any concerns on financials? No. All right. And then we're looking at Public Works.
So, Your Worship, my report is presented, and if anybody has any questions, I'm more than happy to respond.
Anything through to Public Works?
No question.
Okay, good.
I was gonna say something.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no questions for sure. I just disappointed to see that there's nothing happening with our condo building. And, I'm hoping to see something move forward on that and get it into operation. It's a bit of an eyesore sitting there, doing nothing.
Yeah, the last one which we heard from the developer, they mentioned that they got some remortgage and refinancing, but after that I haven't heard anything.
Councillor Olson, you had your hand? No? I thought you were, when I asked if there was questions. Okay.
Apologize.
So that's all of the reports?
I will now make that motion.
Okay. Councillor Williams has moved that all reports under section 9B.
Yeah, no, that's what I was gonna apologize for, Your Worship, because
Don't worry
I'm
about
so
that.
used to see, like, everything was all in one, right?
Yeah, no problem. Any further discussion? All question, all in favor?
And they're in order.
Any opposition? No, carried. All right.
Make the motion to go in camera, Your Worship.
Yes, please. And we'll just get Mel to stay with us for a minute.